Good evening. I thought you'd muted yourself on purpose, then, Reverend Adrian, because we're having trouble with your sound. Good evening, John. Thank you for joining us this evening. Are you well?
Oh, I am well, thank you, Sarah. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you again.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The pleasure is all ours. Good evening, Pamela. Good evening, Trace. Facebook user. Oh, it's Alison. Hi, Alison. Thank you for joining us. And good evening, Nicola. I see lots of people are joining in.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, say hi, everybody. Reverend Adrian's a bit tired this evening.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Yeah, he's had a little walk all the way to Flamborough and back.
I never said I was tired.
He's 2 foot shorter from the distance.
I never said I was tired. You said I was tired.
Oh, dear. It's going to be one of those evenings, John, isn't it?
Yeah, they're the best sort to have.
Yeah, they are. They're always them sort of evenings for us. We've got a couple of Facebook users. I do believe that one is Brenda and Parkin. Good evening, Brenda. Good evening, Deborah. You might find, everybody, that if you see you coming up as a Facebook user when John's doing his readings, if you just pop your name in the box when you're commenting, and then he knows who you are. That is Alison Aronstead. Very welcome. Note you are well too. Oh, yes, we are, Alison. Thank you.
Hi, Alison. Hi, Deborah. IFB user, IFB user, I Nicola Jane and FB user.
I think that about covered it. I think it did. Could we get you to do the opening prayer, please, John?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Thank you.
We all just want to join together and say, Heavenly Father, Divine and Gracious Spirit, we thank you for allowing us all to be here in this room this evening. We thank you for the technology that makes this world in which we live in such a small place, but also so that we may communicate and pass on messages from your loved ones in spirit to yourselves. And as we start this service, we respectfully ask if you surround everybody in a blanket of your healing energy so that everybody may benefit whilst this service is being carried out. Also at this time, can you remember the people who are less fortunate than ourselves, who may be on beds of sickness or who may be caring for a loved one themselves? And also for those who are starting their transition back to the spirit world at this time. We ask that you send friends and family down to light and guide their pathway and to take away the pain and discomfort that this human life has bestowed upon them. But equally as important, the people they've left behind. Give them the strength and the courage they may face with dignity what lies ahead of them over the coming days and weeks. And now respectfully ask for the guides and the inspirers who wish to be with me here this evening and to use me as their communicators so our two worlds may be joined together as one to draw close. We also ask if you'll surround everybody with that lovely love and light energy as we invite the friends and families to come and join us here this evening. And as always, we'll leave this evening in your care and in your keeping and ask that it's carried out in love, light and truth. Amen.
Amen.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
I can't get to the bread bit now, Adrian, anymore because of you and that seagull. Because this, I just can't. I get to it. Did you hear about that, John?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Adrian went to Scarborough. He went to Scarborough and he bought a hot dog and he had one bite of it and Cliff the seagull pinched the rest. But when I was doing the prayer last week, he said to me, "Give us this day our daily bread," he says. He said, "Seagull took mine." So now I'm like, every time I get to that bit, I've got to try and hold it together. No.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what we're going to do, eh? What we're going to do. Well, I think, I think on that note, we better go into the absent healing prayer. I've been contacted by a few people today, so if I just may read, can we send healing out to Sharon, which is Angela's friend, who's not very well, to Toby, that's Wayne and Christine's grandson, and the thoughts to Israel and to India, of course. And please, could we all send some thoughts out to Anne, alias Rosie Spirit, who was with us last week with Rocky, her lovely, lovely dog, who's passed away as a little dog. It's a bit of a shock to her, and she's absolutely devastated. So if we could all send some healing out for Anne, and Godspeed for lovely little Rocky, bless him. And with that, if anybody would like anybody's names put in on our healing list, we have now got a healing book at church. I can add them to if you want to inbox either Reverend Adrian or I, and we'll add them to it. But also, if you put in the comments, we will of course put them onto screen. And I'm going to go into the absent healing candles now. Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we bring upon us all those. Sorry, go on. You're all right. Go on. I'll start again. Go on.
No, you're all right. All I was going to say was, can somebody add Sarah to the healing book? She's going to need it if she fetches that seagull up again.
I thought you ought to write some on top of your head, so when you put your head forward, it says some. Just not Cliff.
I've actually thought about putting a smiley face on.
Yeah. And then I would have trouble holding it together. Is it okay?
Saying that, you're talking to me or John?
Oh, I wouldn't have that, John. I wouldn't have that. Should we try that one again? Oh dear. Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we bring upon you all those listed in our absent healing books, that it may please thee to heal them, be they sick in mind, body or spirit, both those we know, those we don't know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Amen. I do love the candles. Just think they're absolutely ace. Well, this is your favourite time of the evening, Reverend Adrian, where we make you larger than life on the screen. And John and I could just like curl away into a little picture down on the side. I'm just going to try and do that. So you can do you do.
It's only my favourite time of evening because you stopped talking.
What are we going to do with him?
I know.
I'm going to tell Cliff where you live now. You've had it now. They might see you in Scarborough.
Looking at state of my car, he already knows.
Yeah, mine's a bit like that on the back window. You've got to love them, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. If you don't love them, you've got to feed them.
Well, that's it. And you did both. Over to you, Kip.
Right, thank you. Right, guys, good evening and welcome. Tonight I'm going to be looking at Matthew 7 to start with. Now, Matthew 7 is about judging. And it says, do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way that you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Then we go over to in the John 8, sorry, verse 7 onwards. They stood there asking him questions. He straightened himself up and said to them, whichever of you has committed no sin may throw the first stone at her. This he was on about Mary Magdalene. Then he bent over again and wrote on the ground. When they heard this, they all left by one, the older ones first. Jesus was left alone with the woman still standing there. He straightened himself up and said to her, where are they? Is there no one left to condemn you? No one, sir, she answered. Well then, Jesus said, I do not condemn you either. Go, but do not sin again. Right. Judging. 2 or 3 times this week I've had a conversation with guys that's gone down the road of being judgmental and non-judgmental and things like this. And do you know, no matter how hard we try to be non-judgmental, we still are. No matter how hard we try, we still are, whether it's in voice or in thoughts. We're like that because we're human. It's natural for us to judge others. It's natural. But how many times do we judge ourselves? The car driver that cut you up, you judged him, but did you judge yourself at the same time? What I mean by this is, to be non-judgmental, you've first got to take responsibility for your own voice, for your own thoughts. When we take responsibility for his thoughts and his voice, then we can learn and move forward by learning to not be judgmental. For example, when you think about calling the driver names because he cut you up, think, hang on a minute, I've just thought that, I need to stop. When we think about the little kid over the road that's not had a wash for 3 days because you don't know what's happened here. Has the electric been turned off? Have they had a power cut? Have they blown the house up? Whatever you want to do, if they don't know what water. Yeah. Are they having issues with the child to get them to wash? Does the child have mental health issues? Does the parent have mental health issues? We don't know. But all we thought was, what a scruffy kid. Take responsibility of that thought. Wipe it from your mind. And think this. There may be something more to what I'm seeing. There may be a lot more to the bigger picture. There may be a lot more going off behind the scenes. Like with the driver, for example. Is he rushing to get home for a reason? Is he rushing to get to work because his alarm didn't go off? Is he rushing to get to the hospital to a loved one? We don't know. Is his mind elsewhere because of issues that have gone up? Well, has he had an argument with his wife? Is his wife poorly? Is one of the kids poorly? We don't know. So when we're thinking nasty thoughts and when we're thinking judgmental thoughts about his driving, do we actually know what's behind the scenes? Of course we don't. All we do know is that we were judgmental. That's a fact. But being non-judgmental is not just about passing bad judgments, it's also about good judgments. To be non-judgmental is to take things without judging others. If somebody's good, yeah, praise them. Don't judge them for it. For example, yes, you've done really well with your exams. Well done, you. And you did a lot better than the other kids. Whoa, you've just judged them. By being non-judgmental, we become a better person. But to become non-judgmental, we've first got to judge ourselves and take responsibility for his own thoughts, his own actions, and his own words. When we do that, we know we're on the right path. And with that, I'm going to leave you with you and say, God bless you.
Thank you. God bless. That's so true. So true. It really is. Yeah, you see that happening all day, every day, and especially when you stop and make yourself think about it. So true. Yeah, Mandy's saying there, so true. Mandy Nixon. Can we say good evening to Wayne and Christine watching us this evening? Thank you for putting your names in as Facebook users. There you go. Pamela says wise words, Adrian.
Hi, Pam. Thank you, Pamela.
That's so true.
Deborah,
it's Deborah.
Thank you.
And Anne McAteer's with us. Hi, Anne. Thank you. It's lovely to see all those. All these lovely faces every week. Isn't it? You see, you feel the love. Do you feel the love, John? Do you feel the love?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's all right. I was just thinking about what Adrian had said. And it just reminded me of something my grandson said to me in March of last year when the lockdown started. And he went, Grandad, he says, will people now understand what it's like for me every day? I says, I don't know, mate, but I'll tell them. Because my grandson suffers with autism. And because everybody has to keep the space, he went, will everybody understand what it's like for me every day then? I mean, wise words, it's been said, wise words come out of the mouth of children.
Oh, they do.
Right,
and at the time, he was only 11.
Yeah,
but
see, as adults, though, we have to understand that we cannot understand what somebody else is living through. We cannot understand no matter what other people are going through, because we don't walk in their shoes. But what we can do, we can appreciate what they're going through. Yeah. And the closest we get to understanding is by active listening to them.
Yeah.
There you go. Hit up for everybody, that Adrian. Well done. Well done.
Thank you,
thanks for that, John. Thanks for that little addition. Well, we better let you crack on because we know everybody's desperate to see your work, John, because you are amazing. And so I really enjoy sitting backstage and watching you working. Any problems, give me a shout. I can come back on. I'll put as many messages up there as I can for you to see them. The only best advice I can give you is when you've got someone, don't pause for the answer because sometimes they'll take a bit coming through. Carry on regardless.
No, once I've got somebody, I'll just keep going.
Fantastic.
The only thing is, although I'm getting comments, I'm not seeing all the comments.
Okay, I'll try and put as many as I can on screen, especially when they're connecting with you.
Yeah, so
all right.
We'll see where we're going.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
I've got 2 or 3 coming through, so let's have a look and see where we're going.
Fantastic. We'll see you soon.
Okie dokie. Right, good evening, everybody. Lovely to be back with you all again. If you can all just listen in. The first person I've got is a lady, and this lady comes through on a motherly link. I'm quite slim with this lady. I've got very short, tight, curly hair. It would have been quite dark in my younger days, but I do see that it's quite grey now. This lady is a fiercely independent lady. She's only about 5'4", 5'5" in height. She's showing me a bungalow, and outside of this bungalow, somebody's put in railings up or a support bar, and she's going, my eyesight may not be the best, she's going, but there's nothing wrong with my legs. I don't need anybody pushing me around, she says. I'm not old. So I know that this lady, as I say, very independent. Also with this lady, she is coming through on a motherly vibration. So it may be a mother or a grandmother, but she does come through with a great deal of love and a great deal of strength. And I'll leave that one with you. I want to bring a gentleman in as well now. Now, this is somebody completely different and for somebody different. The gentleman who comes in, he's quite a rounded gentleman. He's about 5'7", 5'8". He's got, he would have had dark hair, but I do see it's grey around the side. He has got a little bit on top, but not a great deal. He's telling me he likes to be clean shaven, and his haircuts have always been very much a short back and sides. He wears shirts all the time, and he always wears a vest underneath it. He tells me also he doesn't wear jeans because he's saying jeans were for work. He says, when you're at home, you should always wear trousers. I'm not saying he was a Madness fan or anything like that, because he's just saying all his trousers were baggy trousers, but he never threw anything out because he liked to keep everything together. Right, who we got? Right. Okay, I see Danielle. I'll come to you in a minute, Danielle. Can I go to Deborah first, please? Deborah, because you said about the bungalow. Deborah, as you're, oh God, blimey, as you're drawing in now, this lady's coming very, very close to me, and she's telling me that she needs to be around you, and she needs to put her arms around you. And she's coming through with so much love for you. She's telling me it as well. She's saying, I have felt your pain. She says, but you are through the worst of it. And she says, you're starting to realize now just how strong a person you are. And she says, that strength is going to get stronger and stronger every day. As I say, she does come in with a lot of love for you. She's on about a young boy in the family. So I don't know if you've got a young son or if it's a nephew, but she's saying, don't panic, don't worry, everything will be fine. She's saying, everything has got to run its course, and this one has very nearly run its course. Not that anything bad's going to happen, but she says lessons need to be learnt. She said, but everything will be fine. She's also saying for you, Deborah, as well, can you please keep a rein on your finances? She says, because you're very good at helping others. She says, but then when you need to help yourself, she says, you haven't always got the finances available to treat yourself. And she says, you do need to start looking after yourself, not in health terms, she says, but in social terms. She says, you need to get out. You need to start mingling. You need to have a laugh and a joke. She says, you've always been there for everybody else. She says, now you need to be there for yourself. She says, get your glad rags on, girl. Get your hair done. She says, put a bit, oh, okay. I'm not saying you wear makeup, but this is what this lady would have said. She says, get a bit of lippy on, she says, and get out there, she says, and start to enjoy yourself again. With this lady, I do want to bring a gentleman in. The gentleman, he's not a tall man, about 5'5", 5'6", quite a rounded gentleman, quite rounded in the face as well. A very honest gentleman, a very hard-working gentleman. With him, I do feel my hands are quite rough, so I know I would have worked with my hands. Also with this gentleman, he tells me he likes to potter about in the garden. He's telling me he was quite successful with flowers, but not always with his vegetables. But he says he only started gardening so that he could go outside and have a smoking piece. He says because he was always getting told off in the house. But as the two of them come in together now, they're coming in with a great deal of love and a great deal of strength and a great deal of support for you. They're also saying as well, I'm not a fortune teller, but what they're saying is your finances will never be any worse than they are now. Okay, I don't know if you've got a daughter or if it's the daughter-in-law, but they're on about they're looking at a career change, and they're saying they take notice of what you say, and they're saying yes, they're to go for it, and everything will be all right. It's taking that first step, but if you just let them know you'll be there, not to pick the pieces up, but you'll be there and you will back them all the way. So, as I say, a great deal of love, a great deal of strength. Whoever it is who's going backwards and forwards to the doctors and the hospital, they're saying that will all get itself sorted out by the summertime. And everything will be all right. So I'm going to leave their love with you, Deborah, and say thank you for working with me. And I hope you enjoyed that message. Right. Who was it who understood the gentleman? Oh, was it Danielle? Yeah, Danielle. Right, Danielle sounds like my dad. Yeah, I've just seen your thing about him not being shaved. Yeah, Danielle, as he does come close, he's telling me he is clean shaven. He's saying that's the first thing he did when he got over there. He's also telling me to say to you as well, he's got his cutthroat razor now. So I know that this gentleman was very old fashioned and he liked to have his shaved the old fashioned way with cutthroat razors rather than safety razors, because what he's saying is, he says safety razors, he says, used to take big chunks out of his face, but the old cutthroat razor was nice and smooth and he could get on with it. Also with this gentleman as well, I do feel with this gentleman, he could be very calm and he could be very collected as well. And no matter what was going on, he had the ability just to take a step back and calm everybody down. Don't get me wrong, he did have a temper on him, but a lot of the time he had it under control. Also with this gentleman as well, as much as he didn't like to show it, he doted on children and grandchildren and he loved them all equally. But I do need to say with you, there is a very soft spot around you. What he's telling me is, he says, you always had a glint in your eye. Well, he's saying a sparkle in your eye. And that was very special to him. He's also saying for you as well that you are bringing about changes in your life. And what he's saying is, go with it, girl, go with it. He's saying what's important, and he will tell you this from the other side. What he's saying is, I believe in you. He says, and I know you can do it. So he's saying, have the confidence in yourself. He says, and he says, you're very good at talking the talk. He says, now walk the walk. He says, I know that you can do it. Now, you're perhaps going, well, what's he on about? He's on about the changes that you're bringing into your life. And it's slowly but surely. He's saying, don't rush it. Everything takes time. One bit at a time, and everything would be fine. And he says he knows you will succeed. Oh, okay, right. What he's also saying as well is, will you stop saying you're too old? He says the only time you're too old is when you're sat next to him. He says, so while you're down here, if there's courses you want to do, exams you want to do, qualifications you would like to get, he's saying, you go for it. He says, and don't feel as if you're beholden to others. He says, it's about you doing what you need to do and you go for it. Okay. Also with him. Okay, right. With this gentleman, what he's saying is, he says, everybody needs to talk. Everybody needs to talk. And why he's saying that is, he says, talking is the best form of medicine. He says, but in this day and age, he says, you can talk with your mouth and they can listen with their ears. He says, but you can talk on the telephone and somebody can listen with their ears. And then he's saying you can talk with your fingers. So obviously he's on about texting and messaging, that sort of thing. So he says, you don't need to bottle things up. He's also telling me as well that you've had a good clear out of people around you. And what he's saying is the people that are around you now are the best ones. And he's saying everything will be fine. He's saying you have got good support network around you and they will continue to help you. Also, he's telling me wherever the splits are in the family, he's saying, don't worry about it. He says, you've done what you can do. He's saying, now you just need to concentrate on yourself and do what you need to do. Also, and like I said in the last message, I'm not a fortune teller, but what he's telling me is if you're very careful and plan everything the way you normally do, he says you should be able to move home if you still want to come September or October of this year. He's saying, but everything takes time. The most important thing about moving home, he's saying, you need to know where you want to be first. He says, and when you do know, he says, everything will be fine. But it's all about best foot forward, best foot forward. He's also saying as well that you are not alone. Although you feel as if you're alone, he's saying, no, you're not alone. I'm not saying it's this gentleman because there is another gentleman who's just in the background. But with this other gentleman, I get the smell of cigarettes around him. And he's telling me that he's been leaving cigarette smoke or smells in your kitchen. And he's saying that's their way of letting you know that they're there. And that's their way of letting you know that they're supporting you. There is a lady who steps forward as well. This lady's a little bit of a bossy lady, about 5'4", 5'5", quite rounded in the body. Please take this the right way. She's telling me she was quite loud. So she says, people used to hear me before they saw me. She says, and I don't hold back or apologize for the way I was. She says, because how I was me. And she says, people understood that. But I do need to say with this lady, in later years, she did mellow ever so slightly, but she still had a way with words that could stop people in the tracks. But as I say, a very loving lady and a very caring lady. Okay, she's laughing her head off now. Please, I don't know when you were doing this, but she says over the last month, she's been watching you in the kitchen. She says, forget the cakes. She says, stick to the biscuits. She says, because your cakes look more like biscuits. So she says, just stick to the biscuits. But she's saying you're improving in the kitchen as well. She said, you've got a lot, right. You're improving the kitchen. You've got a lot to look forward to. And she says, please keep looking forwards. Stop looking backwards. What's happened has happened. But more importantly, she's saying, you've learnt your lessons from it. And because you've learnt your lessons, she's saying, you can now move forward. I want to say in a lot of respects, you are very much like this lady in personality wise, rather than in appearance wise. You've got that inner strength, and she's telling me you've got that self-belief, but sometimes you doubt yourself. Oh, okay. Right. What she's saying to me is, you sometimes doubt yourself because of what others have said about you in the past. She said, they were wrong, you are right. So she says, stick to your guns, stick to your beliefs. The only person who knows you is you. And she says, you can move forward. And she says, you will move forward. She's also telling me as well that she sits behind you most nights and she irritates your right ear. It's as if she's tickling it or stroking your hair. And it's just her way of letting you know that she's around. Also as well, I don't know whose it is or where it fits in, but I've got a black and dark brown Alsatian, but one of the big hairy type ones. And oh, bless his heart. Normally Alsatians are quite fierce looking dogs, but this one, it's just shown me his eyes and he looks that sad, you know, as if butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, but I still wouldn't stick my hand in his mouth. But a very lovable animal as well, and that's why you're finding pet hairs around your front door that you can't account for, and that's because this dog does be around you a great deal as well. So from the gentleman and the lady, a great deal of love, a great deal of strength, and a great deal of support. And I'm not going to say what it is, but all I will say is if you continue on your pathway, on the pathway that you are on now, and carry on believing in yourself, there's a lot of good coming your way. But don't rush it. Take your time and take it very slowly. But from them both, a great deal of love, a great deal of strength, and a lot of support. And I'm going to leave all that with you, Danielle, and say thank you very much for working with me. Right, the next person I've got coming through, I'm not saying it's this lady's name, but she's given me the name Jasmine. But I'm just being told off now because I've said Jasmine and they're saying no, it's Yasmin. So I need somebody who would have connections either to a Jasmine or Yasmin on the earth plane, or possibly somebody who is in spirit. Okay. Right. As I've got this Jasmine, I'm going to say I've got a gentleman who's come in, and as this gentleman comes in, he's about 5'8", 5'9", very much straight back gentleman, shoulders back, very proud of his appearance, a very down-to-earth gentleman at the same time. And what he's saying is, he says appearances can be very deceptive. He says too many people judge a book by its cover instead of looking at the pages inside. And he says people used to judge him wrong. He says, I may look affluent, he says, but it takes nothing to have a little bit of pride in yourself. And he says, right, he's on about a lady. I don't know if it's his daughter or his granddaughter he wants to talk to, but he's on a lady with dark hair he needs to talk to tonight. So if anybody would understand this gentleman and you've got dark hair, just please give us a shout and we'll see if we can go a little bit further. I've got that one about a Jasmine or Yasmin. Right. The next one I want to give out is a bit of information. Would anybody have any connections to Royston? Because I've just got somebody who keeps shouting Royston at me. I don't know why, but they're just shouting, yeah, Royston. Okay, right. I'm going to say I'm with the same person, because although I've got Royston, I need to give Stansted as well. Not the airport, the village. So connections to Stansted and Royston. It may be that you've got relatives there, you live there, they live there, or somebody works there. But I'm not quite sure what it is. Deborah, you know somebody that lives in Royston? Right, whoever the Facebook user is, I'll come to you, the one who's put call to Royston and Stansted with my spirit work. Right, so as we're doing that, I don't want to work on the spiritual link. I will work on the spiritual link to start with. As I'm getting it, they're telling me with your spirit work, will you please stop questioning what is happening? They're saying we are giving you the new way of working. Please embrace it. They're saying we know we're taking you outside of your comfort zone, and we know we're asking you to do something completely different, but they're saying you will succeed. You've always trusted us in the past, so please carry on trusting us in the future. They're saying your pathway is marked out. The pathway you would like to be on is different to the one Spirit wants you to go on. They want you to go take their pathway first and then you will be able to accomplish what you want on your pathway at the same time. So they're saying we're working hand in hand together. Right. As we're on about that now, I want to bring this lady through. Now, as this lady comes in, I'm going to say I'm a grandmother rather than a mother. I don't know which side of the family yet. But as this lady comes in, she's busy. I'm asking if she'll stop and talk. And she's just flying around all over the place. She says, no, she says, she's one of these old-fashioned types. Idle hands, she says, the devil will get in. So she's going on about she has to keep busy. She has to be on the move all the time. And she's saying, at times you're like that. She's saying, okay, she's saying the health concerns you've had in the past. She says you did the right thing by that. She says, but over the last 5 or 6 months, she says, you've been forgetting yourself and burning the candle at both ends again. She says, slow down a little bit. Don't get me wrong. The health concerns you had in the past are in the past. But she's saying, don't burn yourself out. Take your time. She says, sometimes less is more, and we can achieve a lot more. With this lady as well, I do feel I'm quite a religious lady. I'm not going to say a spiritual lady, but I'm going to say a religious lady. And I'm going to say that she had her own beliefs. She didn't force her beliefs onto people. But what I do need to say is she did like her children to go to Sunday school and to I don't want to say read the Bible, but listen to stories anyway. We'll put it that way. But at the same time, a very caring lady and a very loving lady. Okay. What she's also telling me to say to you as well is, it's all right. I've got my eyes closed. This lady is telling me that I know you. So if I do, hello. It's all right. I can't see the comments because my eyes are closed because I'm talking to this lady. But no, yeah, she's coming in again. She just wants to put her arms around you and say she is so proud of you. And she's so proud of everything that you've achieved. And she's saying, all right, I'm going to say with this lady, I don't know if it was her or somebody else, didn't always have nice things to say about you behind your back as you were growing up. But they're saying, we're so proud of you now because you've overcome so much in your life already. But you always put other people before yourself, when at sometimes you should put yourself first for a change. I want to bring this gentleman in. He's a bit reluctant to come forward. So it may be he hasn't come through very often, or it may be he's not long in spirit, one of the two. But with this gentleman, I get a tightness in the left side of my chest. So I'm going to say I've got a heart condition with this gentleman, maybe angina, or he may have had a stroke. What I'm going to say with this gentleman is, I'm not saying this caused his passing, but I will say it contributed to his passing. But why he's coming in, he's going, right, the financial situation that you found yourself in at the start of the year, he's saying that has all sorted itself out now. He's also on about, he totally agrees with everybody being independent. It's as if he wants to spend some money for you, because he's saying, I think it's about time you got a newer car. So unless you've had a newer car this year, he's saying, just keep a lookout. He says, but I think you could need a newer car. Right. Right. The reason he's on about a newer car, he's saying you're going to be doing a lot of traveling. from July onwards. But like the lady said, he says, please don't burn the candle at both ends. He's saying, if it's possible, stop over and then travel back, or make a weekend of it, something like that, rather than up and down motorways all day long. So just take your time. He's also saying as well, right, lots of new beginnings coming your way. Oh, right, you couldn't hear what we were talking about earlier. It's all right. I don't know if this is something you've been thinking about or talking about, but I need to give you a dog collar, which shows me you're either thinking about or questioning, should I take the next step and become a reverend? They're saying at the end of the day, it's your choice, but yes, you would make a good one. But it's all about your personal responsibilities and doing it for the right reasons, not because it's a fashion statement or the shirts or the dresses look nice. It's because it's what you want in your heart. And if you can put your hand on your heart and say, I'm ready, then you are more than ready to take that step. Outside of that, on your earthly pathway, there is changes coming about, changes that you are instigating yourself. And he's saying, slowly, right. He's saying, will you take some of the advice you dish out to others and say, everything is there, everything is waiting. You don't have to do everything all at once, one thing at a time. What he's saying is, get your house in order, get your finances in order, settle down with a cuppa and just plan your future. Where would you like to be in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? He said, and then slowly but surely, the changes that you wish to bring about will happen. And it's just about taking your time. You don't, he says, sometimes you get a thought in your head and you dive in at the deep end and you don't think about the consequences, and it starts dragging you back and slowing you down. So he says, think about it, and then you can just dive in and deal with it, and there'll be no surprises coming your way. There is another gentleman who comes in. This gentleman is making me sit very upright. I'm going to say he's all 5'11", maybe 6 foot. He carries himself very well. He's showing me a green uniform, so I know I've got connections to the army. Okay, right. Sorry. Okay. I was never in the army. I was in the Air Force. But this gentleman I can see is an officer, so he's not a sergeant or a warrant officer. I want to say he's an officer in the army, because I can see pips and crowns, and I can see some gold braid going under his arm, through under his armpit. So, and he's got a flat cap. So I know this gentleman would have been in the army, and this gentleman was very proud of his time in the army as well. He's saying, planning. The more you plan, the easier things will become. He says, so you will cover all the bases, any surprises, anything like that. He says, it's just all about moving on, moving forwards and going with it. I want to bring a different lady in for you as well. Now, as this lady comes in, she's about 5'5", 5'6". She just comes in with so much love. I do get this motherly vibration. I'm not saying it's mother, but I'm on mother's side of the family. But there's so much love from this lady. And this lady's saying, thank you. And I'm saying, what are you thanking her for? And she's saying, for you being you. She says, and not changing. She says, life at times has been very good to you, but life has also been very cruel to you. But you've always come out with a smile on your face. She says, and the people who are around you love you for it. And she wants you to know that she loves you to bits. She tells me that she has been around you for the last 2 to 3 weeks because you've been feeling a little bit low. The smell that you've been getting, you know what it is, but you can't quite pinpoint it. It's lily of the valley, she's telling me. Also, you've been getting the lavender smell as well. And that's 2 different ladies who are around you. But they're coming through with a great deal of love and a great deal of strength. I want to say as well that somebody around you, because I did ask them if I was being nosy, and they said it's not you, but what they're saying is somebody around you or close to you needs some healing at the moment, and they've been busy doing that because they heard you ask in your prayers for healing to be sent. And she's saying, yes, we are doing that as well. So a great deal of love, a lot of strength, a lot of support. And I'm going to leave all that with you, if that's all right, and just say thank you for working with me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Did anybody take the name of Jasmine at all? No? Okay. Right. Who is the other one? Who was the lady who had a friend in Royston? Deborah Adams. Deborah, well, you're hit there, Deborah. I want to bring a gentleman in for you. Now, as this gentleman comes in, I do get a pain in my head with this gentleman. So I'm going to say I did suffer a lot with migraines and headaches. I do feel with this gentleman as well, I'm a little bit off balance at times. So I know in later life, I did have some balance issues, but this gentleman, he just wants to come in to be remembered to you, but also he wants to give you a push because he's saying you're dithering. He's saying, you know what you want to do. He says, and you know where you want to be. He says, so come on, get on with it. He says, it's no good relying on other people. He says, other people, he says, you'll be waiting a month of Sundays for. He says, you've got to do it yourself. And it's all on about you now moving on and moving forwards. He's saying the changes that you've been patiently waiting for, he says, they're all going to happen. I hope you've taken the advice of other mediums over the past 6 months where they've told you to get your house in order, because all these changes that you want to bring about are all going to happen at the same time. And they're saying, yeah, they're all going to happen at the same time. So the rest of this year, it could be hectic, but you can be quite organised, Deborah, if you want to be. So get a plan of attack sorted out, he's telling me. Don't just keep doing it on a wing and a prayer. He says you need some sort of structure. But he's saying the rest of this year is going to fly past. And he's saying, just keep doing what you want to do. Keep doing what you want to do. Also, as well, you're thinking about changing your career and you're humming and hawing about what you want to do, where you want to be. He's saying, I can't tell you what to do. He says, but what I will do is dangle a little carrot in front of you. And what he's saying is, use the experiences of the last 5 or 6 years to your advantage. So whatever it is you've been through over the last 5 or 6 years, use that experience to your advantage. So what that normally means is that could be a career path for you to choose. So he's saying, use it to your advantage. The thing is, what he's saying is, it's not all about qualifications. He says more employers these days are finding common sense is more important. You can't teach common sense. You can teach maths, you can teach English, you can teach science, but you can't teach common sense. And they're saying you've got that in abundance. It doesn't matter what your friends say, they just like taking the mickey out of you, he's saying. So just whatever you've gone through, use that, and that could possibly open up another career pathway for you. What the gentleman is telling me to say to you as well, Deborah, is yes, please take this the right way. It's perhaps the wrong terminology, depending which part of the country you live. He says, you will be a professional lady. So obviously very much a career change, and a big career change, but it's the right change, and they're saying it will happen. Now he's not been very, come on, quick. I want to bring this lady in. Now as this lady comes in, she's quite a tall lady, about 5'7", 5'8". With this lady, I'm getting very short of breath with her, and I know that she would have been short of breath. I'm going to say with this lady, I do feel a little bit of asthma, but I do feel it's more than that in her later years. And I've got a lot of tightness in the chest, not related to the heart, although there's a lot of strain on the heart, but I just, a lot of breathing problems with this lady. But as this lady steps forward, what she's saying is, whoever it is wants to move house, she's going, the time isn't right and they haven't got enough money. So they're saying they need to be patient a little bit longer. I don't know if this is you or somebody very close to you. I know it's in the family. And she's saying they need to be patient for a little bit longer. For the house move, this year is not a good year, they're saying. Wait till next year and something will come up in the area where they need to be. They're also on about a young female child in the family. And I do need to say with this young female child that, yes, they are very spiritually aware. There is nothing wrong with them talking to invisible friends because they're not invisible to them. They can see spirit and they are talking to spirit. They do have she has got a girl that she plays with in the spirit world, and this girl in the spirit world is related to her because this girl is from your family. I don't know if it's yours or somebody else in the family, but they are making me aware that this little girl has got an invisible friend who is a little girl, and they talk to each other, and there is nothing wrong with that, and everything is going to be fine. Just let her carry on as normal. She's a perfectly good little girl and everything will be fine. As she grows up, she may lose it, but I don't think she will. I think she will keep hold of it because you are aware of spirit. When she comes to you with a question, you will be able to give her the answer. If you can't give her the answer, say you will find out for her. I also need to say as well that you may not understand this, but you are quite a big influence on this young girl as well. And she does look up to you for guidance and support. But from the spirit world, there is a great deal of love and support. The lady is just showing me a lady's wristwatch that is gold in colour, and it's a gold coloured strap, but it's an old one because it's an elasticated strap. The thing is as well, I mean, I wear glasses, but I'd need about 3 magnifying glasses because the dial on it is that small, you can't see anything. But she's just on about this watch, and I do feel that this watch is in a 2-tone brown box. along with some couple of earrings and possibly some rings she's showing me. She's also showing me 3 photograph albums. One is a chocolate brown colour. The other is a cream with, I don't know if it's like white embossing on it. I know one of the chocolate brown one she's telling me was her photo album, but all the photo albums contain pictures of the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren. And she just comes through with a great deal of love, a great deal of strength, and a lot of support for them all. And she's just saying it's all about, right, what she's saying is you never ask for anything for yourself. So she's saying now you need to look after you. Put yourself at the top of the shopping list and you start doing what you want to do for a change. She says, let the others fend for themselves. She says, they're all big enough. So she says, don't feel guilty if you want to go out on a shopping trip on your own or have a weekend away. She's saying, you do what you want to do. And a great deal of love. And they're all just joining together now with a lot of love, with a lot of strength and a lot of support. Just as they're leaving, I do need to say, you need to go and get your eyes checked. I don't know if you already wear glasses, but they're telling me you will need to wear glasses permanently. So they're saying you need to get your eyes checked. But apart from that, everything is fine. So I'm going to leave all their love, all their strength and all their support with you and say thank you very much. Right. Sarah, did anybody pick that Jasmine name up at all? Is she still here?
Hi, John. No, I didn't see anybody put the name in there. I didn't see anybody connect with the name Jasmine. But
Right.
it may be somebody that's going to watch on the rerun, might it? You know.
Right. I don't normally do this. What I'm going to do with this Jasmine, I'm just going to leave a quick message in case somebody does pick it up. With this Jasmine, I just need to say with this Jasmine, they're sorry. They didn't mean for it to happen, but they're coming through with so much love and they're coming through with a lot of support and a lot of upliftment. They know people are still coming to terms with her passing even after all this time. But she's saying she's trying to help everybody the best she can. She is on about a lady in particular. I don't know if it's a mother or grandmother. But she's saying, talk. She says, talk to my photo and I will answer. She said, and get things off your chest. She says, everybody says it's good to talk. And she says, yes, it is good to talk. And she also wants anybody who knew her to understand, yes, it is lovely over here. She says, you just don't know how good it is. And she just wants to send her love and her support. If anybody can pick it up and they understand that little bit of a message, please let Reverend Sarah know, and we'll see if we can do something at a later date for you. So thank you all.
Just bear with me a second. Reverend Adrian, did you just send me a message? Was that about Yasmin? It's frozen. He just sent me a message. Was that about the name Yasmin?
Yeah, hang on a second.
I can hear you. You can't hear me. Yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you too. No, it's just me. I've misspelt it. It was Yasmin, not Jasmine. But it was Yasmin spelt with a Y.
Oh, there you go then.
Oh, there you go then. So did you understand any of that message?
I do understand some of it. Yes, she was she's my grandson's mother.
All right.
I haven't seen her for a while. But yeah, I did understand some of that. Yes.
Right.
Though I missed it because I was trying to sort my earphones out.
Right. I feel that whoever the lady is, she's been in spirit a while, but she's saying that people still haven't come to terms with her passing. And she's saying that she's sorry for that. But she's saying if people talk openly instead of bottling it all up, she says everything will be a lot better.
Right.
the way she's talking, it feels as if people, even today, are saying, "Well, we should have done this, or we should have done that, or could have helped here, or could have helped there."
No, I don't understand that, Jan.
You don't understand
that at all.
Okay.
No, sorry about that, mate.
No, that's all right. It's all right. It's all right. If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. That may be for somebody else.
I didn't. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I did leave it in case somebody else did pick it up.
Yeah. But what I will do now that you're on, Adrian, just quickly, I want to bring a gentleman in for you. Now, as this gentleman comes in, I've got upset in the tummy area with him.
Right.
In fact, it's a bit lower down than the tummy area, actually. So it may be something to do with his prostate or his waterworks. I don't know if it's prostate cancer or the waterworks, but I know there's issues down there. With this gentleman, I do need to say I'm quite a quiet man. I prefer to blend into the background. I don't like being at the front of the queue. He says, I'm quite happy to let the women be out there and do all the shouting and bawling. He says, and I'll just pick the pieces up afterwards.
Yeah.
Very, very down to earth man. I've got to say with this gentleman, I do feel as long as the ladies in his life and the children in his life were happy, then he was happy.
Bless him. Thank you.
He didn't ask for anything. Okay. He says he did. He says, I used to like to have a cooked meal at least once a day. But this is the sort of character he is. And he is a lovely character. But he comes in around you and he's saying the changes you've instigated are right. Okay. He says for the last 5 or 6 years, he says you've been like a gypsy, finding it very hard to put roots down. He says, but now you've nearly found your true calling.
Right. Thank you.
And where you're feeling more comfortable.
Thank you.
Right. He's saying, I'm not saying you will, but I need to get this bit right. There may be another house move for you, but it will only be in a 3 or a 4 mile radius. It's more to do with you perhaps opening the curtains and the sea's in front of you.
Right. Okay.
But he says you're very, very near to where you need to be.
Right. Okay. Which is not what I'm thinking at the minute, because I'm thinking about you moving back to South Yorkshire. No,
he's saying you're very much where you need to be. I mean, the furthest, I don't know if this is a memory link or if it's somewhere to give you as an option. And I know it's not far away from you because he's showing me Scarborough and Whitby as well.
Right, okay.
But I do need, and what this gentleman is telling me, he all I'm getting is the sound of the sea washing up on the shore. And he's saying that's where you need to be.
Right, thank you.
So although you're perhaps thinking of moving, you need to be by running water. Unless you know where there's a big river in South Yorkshire and go and live next to that.
Oh, I know where there's a few.
But I just hear the running water. So wherever it is, you've got to be by water. He says, because you won't settle.
Yeah.
He's also saying he wants you to know how proud of you he is.
Thank you.
And he says, yes, you are moving in the right direction. You don't need to do everything yesterday. Some things you can put off till tomorrow. He says, he says, you'll give yourself a hernia the way you keep doing it. So he says, just take your time. Take your time.
Did you see that? Amanda said River Don. No. Dern Valley, not Don Valley.
Okay.
She's a Don Valley. I'm a Dern Valley.
Right. I need to give you as well. I'm going to say it's this gentleman, or he got somebody to do it. They're showing me a racing bicycle that was possible.
Yes, I understand.
Because he's saying that they had to do it up.
I know where that is. That's my
Yeah.
uncle. He used to race bicycles.
All right. Well, they just showed me this racing bicycle for you anyway. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right. He's saying it's no
And
good
he
you
did
trying
help me do a bike up.
Yeah, he said it's no good you trying to get on one. He says by the time you got one foot clipped in, he says you'd fall off the other side. So
It's probably right.
but I mean,
That long since I've
these
been
gentlemen are
in
right
one.
characters. They really are. All right. Please take this the right way, Adrian, as well. What they're saying is, if you can laugh at yourself, that gives you the right to laugh at anybody. Because I want to say with these gentlemen, I do feel that they're quite philosophical men in their own way. And they had a way of getting their points of view across. I do want to bring a lady in quickly, very old-fashioned lady, about 5'5", 5'6". She's got, I call them national health glasses. Some people call them Harry Potter glasses. They're the round glasses, but they've got the elastic that goes up.
Oh, yes.
The springs that go around the ears. She's got the full length apron on. And she's got her slippers on because she's going, I'm more comfortable in my slippers. But this lady, I know she liked cooking and I know she liked baking. And she just comes in around you and she's saying, I don't say this very often. She says, but you're not bad in the kitchen, you know.
I know.
Yeah. But it's not very often she'd say that.
Yeah. I'm not sure who that who that is because of the height.
Right. I want to say I'm on Dad's side of the family.
It's the height that's
yeah, Dad's side. Yeah, Dad's side rather than Mum's side.
Then I don't wait a minute. That could be me Auntie Kathleen. She was about 5'6", I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that may be me Auntie Kathleen.
Yeah, a very strong lady and a very single-minded.
She was the tallest one of that side of the family. All the rest are dwarfs.
Right. But no, they're just all coming in around you because they're so proud of you and so proud of what you've achieved. And they're saying you have got a lot to look forward to, but please don't burn the candle at both ends. Take your time.
Right, thank you.
And the more you take your time, the more you're going to achieve. I'm not going to ask a question, so I'm going to make a statement. Yes, you will have a dog. And don't ask me why, but the gentlemen are both burst out in fits of laughter.
Thank you.
But they're saying, yes, he will have a, tell him, yes, he will have a dog. So I don't know what that's all about.
Right, okay. Not while I'm living here because I'm not allowed, but yeah, I'll take that.
Right. Obviously, it's something that you're looking at for the future because this is what they're on about.
Yeah.
So, but no, there's so much strength from the ladies. There's a lot of love, but from the gentlemen, it's respect, and there's a lot of respect. I mean, men in those days, they weren't lovey-dovey type people. They give you a pat on the back or give you a clip round the ear hole, and that was a sign of affection. I just want to say that these gentlemen are stood behind you, and they're going, yeah, you go for it. You go for it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the clip round the ear hole as well.
Well, if you feel one, it's them. But no, there is a lot of strength coming to you. There is a lot of upliftment, and there is a great deal of love from the two ladies. And I'm going to leave all that with you, mate, if that's all right.
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. She's back.
Yeah, beware.
Are we finished, Sarah? Are we?
Yeah, we're there. 8:20. Yeah.
All right. Can I just say to everybody, thank you, everybody who's joined here tonight. Thank you for supporting Sarah and Adrian and Bridlington Spiritualist Church. Thank you for supporting me. Sorry I couldn't see everybody's comments. But as you know, when I work, I have my eyes closed, so I don't know what's coming up anyway. That's why I have to ask so many questions in between the messages. I hope it flowed all right for you. I hope you enjoyed the evening. Please continue supporting the church. And I know there's a very special evening coming up in 2 or 3 weeks' time when Reverend Sarah and Reverend Adrian will be opening the church to actual people. So please go and support them. I'll hand it over to you, Reverend Sarah.
Oh, bless you, John. Thank you so much. Thanks ever so much. Wonderful evidence. Time flies, doesn't it, when you're having fun? You can pack that in, you can, Reverend Adrian. He's so cheeky.
But
you said you can't turn your laptop down, cheeky monkey. There's no pork pies for you now. Do you know, I drop him all sorts of stuff off, pork pies and pies, and then he tells me off because he's dieting. We'll just keep sending Cliff your way.
I've started.
Cliff, this is...
The only difference between me and Buddha is a goatee.
And you know why he grows a goatee, Sarah, don't you? Because he's seen a picture of me with mine, so he thought he'd copy me. I had mine before he did.
There you go. He's copying you.
Let's get that one in.
I've got to go to test my beard up.
Oh, he did. He turned up at church, the other week, John. Yeah. And I'm going, there's something different. There's something. You've took your beard off. And then Trace Lapworth was in Bridlington. She popped in to see us, and she walked in and she went, "Whoa, you look weird." Without your beard, didn't she? I've got to say though, it's grown back pretty quick, hasn't it? Blimey, he must be eating his wheat a bit because our Trace is laughing. Well. Look, you trimmed it as well. Yeah, she would. Look, there she is, laughing her head off.
At least I've got to go up for a profile picture.
Oh, Trace, I wouldn't have that. I'd get your own back. I really would. Message from Alison there. Look, been a lovely evening. And Jan, you must try and look back if you get a chance, John, to see all. Pam says you look better than. And see Thanks, all the love that's out there for you, John. There's some lovely messages, thanking you, and a lot of love for you out there because you are wonderful. And I forgot to say, I even asked, you're outside Peterborough, aren't you? Yeah. In fact, I'll tell you what, John, let's get you to do the closing prayer, and then we can tell you what Tracy's just said to him.
Okay, right. So we'll just join together for the last time as we say, Heavenly Father, Divine and Gracious Spirit, we thank you for this evening. We'd like to thank the friends, families and loved ones who've joined us here tonight. We thank them for their words of guidance, love and support, and we wish them a safe journey back to their friends in the spirit world. I'd like to thank the guides and inspirers who used me as their communicator here this evening so that our two worlds can be joined together as one. And I look forward to working with them again in the near future. We now respectfully ask that there's lovely energies that have been created around each individual here tonight be sent directly to those people who are in most need of its healing at this time. And also to this planet on which we live, which is undergoing so many disasters this year already. And not forgetting our friends in the animal kingdom, because so many people today only have their pets for company. And as people leave this page this evening, we ask for a circle of love and light to be placed around each individual so they may be kept safe as they go about their daily lives until such time as they can all meet again. Amen.
Amen. Lord, keep us safe this night, secure from all our fears. May angels guard us while we sleep till morning night appears. Amen.
Amen. We did all right then, so we didn't rehearse that bit, didn't we, Adrian? We always forget to mention who's going to do that bit. So do I. I count to 5 seconds and think if you want to start, then I'm going to do it. Yeah, Tracy, where's her comment? Oh, yeah, there we are. When you mentioned about her having a goat for a profile, oh, there it is.
Only joking, Trace.
Oh, that was great. Oh, look, we've got lots of lovely messages. You need to try and read through them, John. You are lovely. Can I just say, John, if you are ever up this end of the country, will you please give me advance warning, because we shall definitely open the church, especially to have you in it.
Yeah, of course I will.
Oh, fantastic. We'd love to see you.
What
Right.
do you mean, we? Special? I'll just pass the messages on.
What do you mean,
We the church. We
I'm
the
not
church.
opening for you. Oh, that's you then.
He'll be out walking his dog.
Yeah, it will. Getting lost in Flabra. I hope this goat's a trained athlete, apparently. Look. This goat's a dog. It's a dog, Adrian. Look.
Oh, it's a dog. I thought you would have gone.
Trace, I do apologise. I'll send him to Specsavers tomorrow.
Sorry, Trace. Specsavers, that's where I went.
I think it was, is it a greyhound?
Let me have another look.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's a dog. Yeah, it's a greyhound.
It's a greyhound, isn't it?
Yeah, greyhound.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, Pamela's going to be in trouble.
I thought it was a goat. Oh, she's
I thought it was a goat. I smell Pamela.
I think that must be Alison.
What you've got to understand, Trace, is me and Pamela are from South Yorkshire. The only thing that rubs for people in South Yorkshire is goats when you've got your wellies on. And sheep.
That's a whole different story. Let's leave that one where it surfaced. Oh dear. Oh, next week's speaker is a new to us lady, Coral Ryder. So we look forward to seeing her. Not that we don't love all our other ones that we know, like John. It's been a lovely evening as always. And now especially for you, Reverend Adrian, I know you got sick of seeing the ducks, didn't you? You got sick of seeing the ducks on the duck race for the raffle. So especially, I couldn't find seagulls. I tried, believe me, I tried to find racing seagulls.
What are you using, swans or pigeons?
I paid for it, but I couldn't see any. So what I did was I found the next best thing, which is racing emojis. Now I'm pleased to say, you know, the brown one, let's not say what that one is, that's not racing. So maybe because it doesn't have legs, I'm not sure. But anyway,
You're breaking up.
Thank you. Oh, no, it must be your internet, hopefully, and not mine. I'd like to thank everybody who bought raffle tickets off us for this week's private reading with Reverend Nick Brown. I'm going to do the emoji race. You can't miss this, Adrian. Are you still there? You can't miss this. Just remember, John. Yeah, just remember, John and Adrian, that when the race is on, you're not muted. So if you do want to do a running commentary, feel free, but remember, everybody can hear you. All right, good luck, everyone, and thank you for supporting us by buying raffle tickets. Here's the emoji race.
It gets worse.
I don't even understand why.
I'm doing with glasses on.
Oh, something knocked his legs from under him.
John won.
What? I was too busy laughing. What number was it?
18.
18, thank you. 18. Congratulations, Lisa Scott. You won the private raffle with Nick Brown. What did you think to the emoji race, and everybody? Let me know if you'd rather have the ducks back, and I'll see what I can do. Oh dear.
Race so daughter approves of the race.
She does?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go then. Number 18, thank you. Thank you, Alison. Number 18, yeah, Lisa Scott won.
And Karen Moulton thinks your laughter's contagious. I don't know where she gets that from.
Oh, thank you.
It's annoying, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. Just ignore him. I'll mute him in a minute. See, Wednesday evening so uplifting. There we are. Oh, look. He's took his camera off. Actually, his beard were better on that picture, wasn't it? Oh, look, there we go. He's going to write something on his head next week. I just know it.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Don't forget Little Port service tomorrow evening with Reverend Nick and Reverend Lynn. Reverend Adrian, you're doing something tomorrow evening, I do believe. Are you dealing the decks again?
Yeah, just a quick one. A Facebook laughter says, a Facebook user says, try kangaroos next.
Kangaroos, right. I'll see what I can do. What are you doing tomorrow evening, Reverend Adrian?
Yes, tomorrow night I am putting myself on the gauntlet again and doing readings.
All right.
Yeah. Do you know how long it's took me to get to do this, John?
Wow.
Honestly. Months.
Yeah.
15 months.
Months it's took me to talk him into doing this. And he went down a storm last Thursday and he loved it. He was buzzing, wasn't you?
You're not taking all the glory for it, because I mean I've got a friend who's been trying for 6 years to get me to do it.
I don't want any glory. I'm just going to keep nudging you in that direction. Oh dear. And John, where can everybody find you? I do believe you're doing a live very soon.
Yes, I'm doing a live on Sunday at Snettisham, which is just outside of Hunstanton, and it'll be the first service they've had since March of last year. And it feels as if I'm doing platform for the first time. The nerves are building up already, but then that's a good thing.
Oh, bless you. It is. Well, we all wish you much luck and love with that. If anybody's near to that church, go and support John, because he is wonderful. If you get a chance to see him, I really hope he gets up this part of the country and we get to see him. A quick reminder to let you know that our church charity shop is open every day, Monday to Saturday, 9:30 till 12:30. We're open for any donations and we can come and pick them up to sell in the shop just to help us keep running. Could I do a special thank you? Because I've just noticed when we were offline that Carol Bailiff Drummond has sent us a donation. Thank you very much for the money, Carol. But the reason I'm thanking you, not just for the money, it's for what you put. She said for the wonderful online live services, and I thought that was lovely of her. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who donates and helps us keep going. We really, really appreciate it. Other than that, for a change, I don't think I've got anything else to say. Is anybody else?
Yes!
Oh, I'm going to, honestly, I'm not going to, next time I come to deliver your pork pie, I'm not going to hand it out of the car window. I'm going to throw it at you. And I'm a cracking shot.
I thought you said you weren't petting me anymore.
Well, I might do just to see if I can. So if he's got a red mark here next week, everyone, you know why.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. And I think on that note, I think we better go, haven't we?
You might dig a hole for yourself that you can't get out of.
Absolutely, I'm good at that. I've got a JCB out the back.
Yeah.
Thanks again, John. Thanks, Reverend Adrian. Good night, everybody, and God bless. Thanks for joining us. See you all soon.